What if I were to convey that Carl Jung revealed profound insights into human nature that might save you years of unproductive effort? The essence of life and psychological upheaval permit me to express a notion of significant profundity. Aiding others is fundamentally woven into the fabric of our existence. Nevertheless, an essential observation frequently disregarded is that, as Carl Jung examined in depth, not every person who pursues help truly wishes for it. Carl Jung proposed that individuals adopt various facades, which he referred to as personas. Certain personas are meticulously designed to extract vitality from those around them. Today, I will clarify the 8 psychological archetypes that Jung's research warns us to be wary of. Stay attentive, as by the end of this discussion, you will have the understanding to perceive these dynamics with precision. Type 1. The perpetual victim. Carl Jung posited that some individuals become trapped in what he referred to as the victim archetype. These individuals have embraced suffering as a fundamental component of their identity. Nevertheless, there exists a fascinating twist. Jung articulated that people frequently do not truly aspire to escape their suffering. Instead, they appear to be continuously trapped in a condition of turmoil, constantly enveloped in a story of chaos that seemingly lacks any connection to their own behavior. It can be posited that people become trapped within their own shadows, struggling with the more obscure aspects of their identity that they are reluctant to face. They extract sustenance from the empathy of others, akin to how vampires obtain nourishment from blood. In the endeavor to provide assistance, one does not cultivate healing. Instead, one may unintentionally sustain their reliance. Carl Jung articulated that authentic healing requires the individual to engage with their shadow. Yet, the perpetual victim avoids this transformative path. They tend to entrap others within their intricate psychological web. And I assure you, once caught, liberating oneself becomes far more arduous than one might expect. This leads us to the second category, the chronic complainer. Jung observed that some individuals cultivate a dependency on their own pessimism, which eventually evolves into a familiar refuge. Their intellectual foundation, the insights that Jung uncovered concerning this specific type, are bound to surprise you. These individuals appear to prioritize the amplification of their grievances over the pursuit of viable solutions. Carl Jung's examination of the human psyche indicates that those who frequently express dissatisfaction may experience a condition he referred to as psychological stagnation. They have adeptly transformed the act of complaining into their principal endeavor. Even if one were to relocate mountains on their behalf, they would probably still critique the perspective. Jung suggested that this behavior goes beyond simple negativity. It functions as a protective mechanism, guarding individuals against growth, transformation, and the acknowledgement of their own responsibilities. The audacious individual Carl Jung suggested that entitlement presents itself as a psychological affliction disguised as self-assurance. Individuals displaying this characteristic do not merely seek assistance. Instead, they assertively command it, as if the universe owes them a debt. Nonetheless, Jung's insights profoundly transformed our understanding of entitlement. Individuals did not succeed in fostering what he referred to as psychological reciprocity. The essential understanding that relationships require mutual exchange reveals a degree of naivety in their viewpoint. It is a misconception to believe that the cosmos revolves around individual aspirations. Support provided frequently remains unrecognized, lacking in gratitude, appreciation, or any indication of personal growth. Jung might propose that they are operating from their most underdeveloped facet, which obstructs their capacity to recognize others as equals. Categorized as for the perpetual misleader, Carl Jung unveiled insights about falsehoods that will irrevocably alter your understanding of deception. Jung proposed that those who frequently deceive others do not simply mislead. They also immerse themselves in self-deception to a degree that leads to a disconnection from reality. They create what Jung described as deceptive identities, wholly based on invention, in accordance with Carl Jung's observations. These individuals become so entangled in their elaborate constructions that they can no longer distinguish reality from illusion. When one endeavors to provide assistance rooted in their narratives, the effort does not support a true individual, but instead a fabrication of their own design. Jung clarified that this specific manifestation of psychological dysfunction presents considerable difficulty in terms of resolution, as the individual must initially face reality, an aspect they have systematically trained themselves to avoid. Type 5. The Seeker of Possibilities. Carl Jung proposed that opportunists experience what he referred to as psychological parasitism, having evolved to persist by attaching themselves to the energy and resources of others. What Jung uncovered about their operational methodology is deeply disconcerting. In alignment with the perspectives of Carl Jung, opportunists exhibit a remarkable skill in manipulation, analyzing their targets with the meticulousness of scientists studying specimens. They exhibit a keen understanding of the precise triggers to activate, the ambitions to inspire, and the vulnerabilities to exploit. It has become evident that some individuals regard others not as fellow human beings, but rather as mere instruments for exploitation. They might express aspirations of collective achievement, while subtly crafting their own strategies for departure. The most disconcerting element is that these individuals often reside closest to you. The theatrical pursuer Jung proposed that some individuals cultivate a dependency on chaos, as it represents the only instance in which they encounter a true sense of vitality. He referred to this phenomenon as neurotic excitement dependency. Nevertheless, Carl Jung's insights regarding those who pursue drama uncover a neglected reality. These individuals are not simply casualties of disorder. Instead, they are its creators. They inadvertently engineer a succession of crises, as psychological turmoil has become their favored source of stimulation. Carl Jung posited that aiding a person who craves drama is akin to the effort of calming a storm that they are intentionally summoning. It is a fruitless endeavor to cultivate serenity in an individual who is caught in turmoil, especially when that turmoil is self-directed. Type 7. The seeker Carl Jung offered a profound observation about takers that will significantly reshape your understanding of unbalanced relationships. Jung revealed that those who take are not simply self-serving. Rather, they exhibit psychological shortcomings. Carl Jung posited that they have not succeeded in developing what he termed the reciprocity function, the essential human ability to partake in a harmonious exchange of giving and receiving. Carl Jung suggested that individuals who engage in such behaviors frequently arise from a condition of psychological deprivation, constantly longing, perpetually unsatisfied, and eternally in pursuit of greater fulfillment. Yet, within this context exists a significant irony. Jung disclosed that an increase in offerings often correlates with a heightened sense of depletion. They appear as psychological vacuums, drawing in all that is nearby, yet offering no reciprocation. Individuals might find themselves ensnared by their shadow selves, partaking in actions that lack both conscience and gratitude. The archetype of the manipulator, as articulated by Carl Jung, unveils a deep understanding of human nature. Jung asserts that those who manipulate pursue not just aid, but a profound psychological surrender. He characterizes this behavior as arising from what he refers to as the power complex, an unconscious drive to dominate and exert influence over others. Carl Jung articulated that manipulators operate as psychological predators, exploiting the guilt, empathy, and kindness inherent in others. They fail to recognize kindness as a commendable quality. Instead, they view it as a weakness to be taken advantage of. Jung posited that aiding a manipulator is akin to sustaining a psychological parasite. The more one offers, the more powerful they grow. While the benefactor's vitality wanes, they diminish not only your resources, but also your fundamental sense of identity. Nevertheless, the paramount element persists. Carl Jung uncovered a profound insight that has the potential to be transformative for one's existence. He asserted that discernment ought not to be conflated with cruelty. Instead, it represents a form of wisdom. Jung proposed the importance of developing what he referred to as psychological boundaries to protect our energy and maintain our mental health. Carl Jung discerned that those worthy of support exhibit particular characteristics. They accept responsibility, participate in mutual exchange, grow from your input, and respect your limits. It is worth noting that Carl Jung suggested that every person you aid either enhances your energy or diminishes it. Select with discernment, as your cognitive health is contingent upon this decision. Your presence during this exploration is genuinely valued. If you perceive value in the discussion presented today, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and disseminate this video to those who might find it advantageous.